Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the RK Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network, where we cover U.S. news, international news, business news, and political news. Let's begin. First, we're going to begin with live updates. George Floyd protests spread nationwide. Let's take a look at those updates right now. What you need to know. Protests erupt for a 6th day across the U.S. over the death of unarmed black man George Floyd at the hands of a police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Nearly 40 cities have imposed curfews, and National Guard members have been activated in 15 states and Washington, D.C. Protesters say they want to see charges for all 4 police officers involved in the death of Floyd. One former officer who was seen in a video with his knee on Floyd's neck was charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter. But protesters and cities believe the charge isn't harsh enough. Let's take a look at the latest updates right now. And here are the latest updates for all of you right now. D.C. Mayor issues citywide curfew. Washington, D.C. Mayor has issued a citywide curfew beginning Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time through Monday, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, the mayor tweeted. Also, the mayor activated D.C. National Guard in support with the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. The D.C. National Guard had previously been activated to support U.S. Park Police. St. John's under curfew for the next week. St. John's residents will be under a city-wide curfew starting tonight. The curfew will last from 8:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. local time. Verizon Instagram battle channels gospel artists after tough week. It's hard for me to sing through this pain, the gospel artist said. Here are the cities that have imposed curfews Sunday night in the U.S. 40 cities and Washington, D.C. have imposed curfews tonight in response to violent protests across the country this weekend. Additionally, as of Sunday morning, approximately 5,000 National Guard members have been activated in 15 states and Washington, D.C., with another 2,000 prepared to activate if needed. Here's a look at what cities currently have curfews in place for tonight. Arizona, week-long statewide curfew. California, Los Angeles County, San Francisco, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, West Hollywood, and St. John's. Colorado, Denver, Florida, Miami, Orange County, Jacksonville, and Orlando. Georgia, Atlanta, Illinois, Chicago, Indiana, Indianapolis, Kentucky, Louisville, Michigan, Detroit, Minnesota, Minneapolis, and St. Paul. Missouri, Kansas City, New York, Rochester, Ohio, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbia, Dayton, and Toronto. Oregon, Portland, and Eugene, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh, South Carolina, Charleston, Columbia, and Myrtle Beach, Tennessee, Nashville, Texas, Dallas, and San Antonio, Utah, Salt Lake City, Virginia, Richmond, Washington, Seattle, Washington, D.C., Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and Madison. States of disaster emergency. Arizona, the governor said the emergency declaration will allow police to be equipped to make arrests of individuals who are planning to riot, loot, or cause damage. Texas, this will allow federal agents to be able to serve as Texas peace officers. Virginia, this will mobilize of resources including the Virginia National Guard. Other things to note. The city of Chicago closed the Central Business District and the Loop area to only employees whose business are located in the business and residents who live in the Central Business District. Major highways in Minnesota are closed. Protesters clash with police in San Diego. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek moved to Hennepin County Jail. This is a photo of him right here. And that is the latest of what is happening around the United States nationwide. Here is a new update right here. Santa Monica protester clash with police. Police are trying to get protesters to dispute in Santa Monica by firing fireworks and other objects at protesters. Stores have been looted, and there have been other issues as police have tried to calm the violence from protesters. A citywide curfew started at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And that is all the latest we have for you for the George Floyd protests spread nationwide. We will keep you updated on this. Stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of that information. Let's go into some U.S. news right now. New York City police car plows through crowd. Mayor calls for investigation. This came as New Yorkers protested the death of George Floyd. New York City's mayor is calling for an investigation after police SUV overnight plowed through a Brooklyn crowd where protesters were holding a metal barricade. Video shows one police SUV being blocked by a group of protesters behind a barricade, as various items and objects can be seen striking the vehicle. Another NYPD vehicle then pulls up alongside the first vehicle before both of them can be seen accelerating into the crowd of people, knocking many of them over as the screaming and yelling from the crowd begins to intensify. Police disparity anti-Bolsonaro protests in Brazil. Police say they've used tear gas to dispute demonstrators in Brazil's largest city as groups protesting in supporting President Jair Bolsonaro near a clash. Police say they used tear gas to dispute hundreds of demonstrators in Brazil's largest city on Sunday as groups protesting and supporting President Jair Bolsonaro neared a clash. The demonstration by several hundred black-clad members of football fan groups in Sao Paulo appeared to be the largest anti-Bolsonaro street march in months in a country that has become an epicenter of the spreading of COVID-19 pandemic. Many of the protesters chanted democracy as they marched. Infected workers, parts shortages slow auto factory restarts. Part shortages and infected workers are slowing the U.S. auto industry's ability to restart factories. The U.S. auto industry coronavirus comeback plan was pretty simple. Restart factory gradually and push out trucks and other vehicles for waiting buyers in states left largely untouched by the virus outbreak. Yet, the return from a 2-month production shutdown hasn't gone quite accordingly to plan for some automakers. Full production has been delayed, or it's been hecky with production lines stopping and starting due to infected workers or part shortages from Mexico and elsewhere. Advantage: Biden with risk. Trump disapproval grows poll. Biden holds a lead over Trump among registered voters. Joe Biden holds a 10-point lead over President Donald Trump among registered voters in the latest ABC News/Washington Post poll, but that's sliced in half among those certain to vote, reflecting challenges for Biden in terms of voter commitment and enthusiasm alike. Trump has his own risk, including sharply negative views of the economy and greater criticism of his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. His overall job approval rating is back underwater, 45 to 53% among all Americans, with a 7-point rise in disapproval since late March. Take a look at the Trump approval graph right here. As you can see in the blue, people that approve his job approval, and in the purple, disapproval, people that do not approve his job approval. And that does it for this evening edition of the RK Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful evening, everyone, and good night and bye.